Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. So you can hold your horses and not take it to the stupid. Let's jump right into it. Jaron Ennis. Everybody talking about Jaron Ennis. Like, damn, man. I've been telling y'all, Jaron Ennis has passed the eye test, but he never passed the real test, in my opinion. Now he passed the real test in Xander Zayas. That's why he's getting all this shine. So for all y'all McNicholases out there who are just out there on the goddamn boots in his train, without this man passing the real test, you guys were jumping the gun. Because nobody was buzzing about that man like they are now. Jaron Ennis has showed us that he's the real deal. Now, if you disagree with me, hey, yo, hold your horses. And let's not take it to the stupid. What should happen is Jaron Ennis should fight Josh Kelly on the Anthony Joshua Tyson Fury undercard. There you go. I just gave it to you. All right? So, matter of fact, you're welcome. Because I know you said thank you, Hood Champion. That's the move that should be made. Josh Kelly about to fight, what, this week? Boots just fought. Fundora don't know what he doing. He got mandatories. So, in my opinion, Fast Eddie Hearn should move pretty fast and try to lock this shit in because he got Josh Kelly as his fighter. There's no reason for him not to meet Kelly Boots. But I know Fast Eddie, he gonna want Josh Kelly to hold on to a belt, fight somebody else, Boots to have his belts, fight maybe Fundora. I know Eddie Hearn is trying to figure it out to where ultimately he can have his two guys fight to where it'll be for the undisputed distinction. But this would be one of the smartest career moves for Jaron Ennis, but ultimately it's not his decision. If he could line up a fight with Josh Kelly or even Fundora, but I just know Fundora has mandatories, but to put that fight with Kelly more, because Kelly's from the UK, on the undercard as a co-main to Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua. Talk about how Anthony Joshua and Fury, that event, is going to draw enormous global attention. Appearing on that stage could expose Ennis to millions of casual viewers who may not have followed his career closely. Now, there are a lot of benefits to being on that card. Massive, massive, massive international exposure, increased sponsorship opportunities, a chance to convert casual viewers into long-term fans, momentum heading into future championship fights. I mean, this is the move to make. And even for Josh Kelly, it would also provide a recognizable opponent with technical ability. All in all, makes the matchup appealing without necessarily overshadowing the main event. Because they're not going to overshadow Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. But it will give even more of a buzz to that fight card. But, I mean, we're going to see what Eddie Hearn does. That's just my 2 cents. Now, Sebastian Fundora, he wants to get in the mix. He wants to take them goddamn long-ass extremities, man, and just kind of step over and reach over into the goddamn party. He's like, hey, I got these mandatory obligations. I don't like this. He's frustrated, man. He wants to fight Ennis. It's just funny to sit back and see how all of a sudden everybody wants to fight Jaron Ennis. But he got to get the mandatories out the way before he pursues the bigger name. So he has to fight whatever's available. Now, this reflects a common tension in boxing. Champions want the highest profile fights. It creates that tension when they don't get it. Sanctioning bodies require mandatory defenses. They got to get their little Wu-Tang cream. Cha-ching-ching, dollar bill, y'all. Then promoters balance business opportunities with championship obligations. So it creates a bit of tension there. But what I will say is mandatory challengers play an important role in keeping the opportunities fair. Even if they delay major events, having mandatories, those challenges, I mean, the process is set up in a way to keep things balanced and fair. But boxing fans don't care about all that because we just want the best fighting the best. But we understand. But there's one fighter out here who's really catching his ass. It ain't Sebastian Fundora. Vergil Ortiz. Look, man, you lost the momentum. You lost the momentum. Vergil Ortiz still acting like we should respect him because he may have been the prom king back in the day. Like, get out of here. We know what you were at 154 pounds. What you were was somebody who had a question mark above your head. Can you fight? Yes. But them first 2 fights at 154 weren't even at 154, and those were questionable wins, questionable knockouts. You know, the system did what it was supposed to do to make you look good at 154. And he didn't even fight at 154. Now the fight after that, where you came in your fight, I think it was a Bohachuk, we already know what happened. That you lost that. Then you fought Madrimov, it is what it is, and you fought, what's his name, Lubin. So, I mean, was it 5 fights? So, you know, you're a good name, you're a good fighter, but you don't have the momentum. Okay? And you had all these setbacks going on with De La Hoya and your manager and your career. And now you just got to face the challenge of rebuilding at 154 pounds. New life. I mean, goddamn, Errol Spence is back. Tim Tszyu is back bubbling. It's just a lot going on at 154, man. You need to come and get you some wins. Don't just try to skip the line. You're not that guy anymore. You need to come and get some wins. Maybe that'll help restore your confidence, get people talking about you, get some, work on your timing and activity. I know, I'll say this though, Robert Garcia is an amazing trainer. He says Vergil's been in the gym, he's been sharp, he's ready to fight right now. But I'm just telling you, I think he needs to reestablish his position in the division. You just can't be gone and come back. Who you think you are, Floyd Mayweather and shit? That's not how it works. While some fighters just like taking a step back, rebuilding has been part of many successful careers, and I think that's what he needs to do. But I will give credit to Robert Garcia, because if I like Robert Garcia, that's just me. I know I haven't heard anybody say they don't like Robert Garcia. Robert Garcia is the truth as a trainer. So if he says Vergil's ready, I believe him. But I just, for me, I mean, whether he's ready or not, get your ass to the back of the line. Don't try to skip the line. Put the work in. Get a couple more fights under your belt. Get your buzz back. Get the momentum going again. And then maybe then you'll be ready to fight some of these killers. But it is what it is. Now, talking about things being it is what it is, the rumors circulating Adrien Broner that he may have relapsed during that public challenge he's doing, the 45-day lock-in with Dean DeGray. Sound like he back hitting the goddamn bulls. At this stage, man, when it comes to Broner, or those who are directly involved with him, look, this is just the speculation. I personally think if they're trying to sell it that, oh, he's relapsed, I think they turned this shit into a soap opera that's very entertaining and very brilliant. Because, I mean, everything they're doing is calculated, and they're keeping people engaged for views, which is ultimately what they need as streamers to get them to keep making the big money. But on a more serious note, if in fact he has relapsed, I'll just say this. Let's hope that he remains healthy and focused. Because, man, that alcoholism is a disease, man. And it's just destroying your body. Shit's poison. It's like drinking soda and eating all them fat and greasy food. What you trying to do to yourself? I understand people like the way some of that stuff makes you feel, the way it tastes. But at the end of the day, what you trying to do to yourself? And talking about the way something tastes, I wonder how Conor Ben's going to like tasting that Ryan Garcia knuckle sandwich that he's going to put all up in his mouth. All up in his mouth. Conor Ben is taking on major challenges too quickly at an unfavorable weight, 147. Conor Ben, I'm telling you, I'm going to keep saying it. 30 seconds into the fight, Ryan Garcia tranquilizes him. You just got to look at the speed, timing, left hook, counter punching ability. Even Eddie Hearn is out here saying the same shit. Everybody's saying it. He's coming in here. He's rushing. And I'm like, why is he in such a rush to try to win a belt, to try to fight these big fights? Like, what's the issue? Like, no, come on out here. Yeah, you fought the 2 fights with Eubank Jr. that kind of put you on the map. But just keep set yourself into cruise control and come out here and keep getting some wins against, some decent names fighting the UK. I don't understand this rush to try to get into with Ryan, and where he just thinks he's got the kind of aggression that can make the fight highly competitive, and he's going to come in there and overwhelm Ryan and knock Ryan out. I'm telling you what, and I'm going to go ahead and say this. I wouldn't be surprised if Conor Ben fails another pair test. All right? There, I said it. Do I think he's cheating? I have no reason to come out here and start spreading that bullshit. But I am telling you, I wouldn't be surprised. Because I don't understand how a guy like him, he puffing his chest up and acting like a real tough guy now. Same way he was acting back in the day when he went and knocked Vargas out and was out there starting to get these big knockouts. Then he tested positive. He fell off, came back, didn't look good. Got in there, had a couple of fights with Eubank Jr. He looked all right. But it just makes you wonder, how did he get this conditioning? It just makes you wonder. I just don't know about Conor Benn. I just don't know about that guy. That's all I'm going to say, man. But I'll just tell you this. Opinions vary widely on this fight. But for me, I'm just going to tell you, I think Ryan knocks him out. But there's something about Conor Benn. He just looks suspicious. Any man roll up there looking like Cisco. Let me see that thong, da-dong, dong, dong. Blonde hair, cornrows. I'm like, what? I'm just waiting for him to have a microphone and dancing with, a silver goddamn suit on. Like, I don't know what this dude is doing, but I just don't trust him. But, Ryan Garcia. There's some people say they don't trust Ryan Garcia, so no matter what, maybe they cancel each other out, you know what I'm saying? But I got Ryan winning. 30 seconds into the fight, it's over. But talking about somebody who fights are going to be ending very soon. Once they get in the ring, soon after the fight ends. Andy Cruz impresses again, man. Another strong performance that reinforces his reputation as one of boxing's most technically gifted fighters. And we're highlighting the man has improved punching power. The footwork, the IQ, amateur pedigrees translating well to the professional ranks. I tell you what, if that power continues to develop, many believe he'll become more difficult to defeat. And I'm telling you, I think he'll become damn near impossible to defeat. To have the footwork, to have the speed, to have the IQ, counter-punching ability, and power, defense too. How do you beat a guy like that? I'm asking you. How do you beat somebody like that? They got everything. You just have to hope you land a shot from the gods on a guy like that. So very, very, very curious to see what the future holds for Andy Cruz. But he has something special about him. I said it once, I'm going to say it again. There's something special about Andy Cruz. And that being with Moses Itauma and training up there, the power's showing up. He's looking really, really sharp, man. Diego Pacheco wants for Jaime Munguia. Diego Pacheco looked pretty good this past weekend. But I'm going to tell you this, man. He ended up getting a stoppage victory in round 11 over Alim. And now they want Jaime Munguia. But I'm going to just tell you this. And I just got to be real when I do these videos, man. Some fans have discussed enhanced drug testing in the context of high-profile fights. I'm talking about the high-profile fight that could take place with him and Munguia. He better have drug testing. I don't care. Munguia came back. You see how Munguia looked in his last fight? What the hell was that? You know what I'm saying? Munguia come out here, man, not getting tired, just nonstop. Like, Munguia's always been a beast, but that shit he did in his last fight was crazy. Absolutely crazy. Now, of course, am I saying that he's guilty of anything? No, I'm just telling you, I think it's very important to have the drug testing. Plus, Munguia tested positive for some shit before anyway. When these guys start testing positive for shit, I got to put the hairy eyeball on them. Especially when they don't really come out with no evidence to prove that there was no wrongdoing, But if Eddie Hearn knows what the hell he's doing, he'll make sure his boy his boy Pacheco is protected. But I will say this, major bouts commonly involve testing under the rules agreed upon by the sanctioning bodies, commissions, and event organizers. So, we just got to roll with that. But if Pacheco fights Munguia, I ain't going to lie. I got Munguia winning that fight. I like Pacheco, but he's tall, he fights small. I just think Munguia gets to him. But Pacheco can fight, though. Bot goes to the body, he's upstairs. But I don't know. I just think Munguia gets him. Pacheco better make sure they have stringent drug testing. And I'll leave it as that. Dmitry Bivol and Beterbiev. I'm so glad Bivol has come out and killed those rumors that he's avoiding Beterbiev. He told Eddie Hearn, man, look, enough of the rumors and the bullcrap. Start negotiations immediately. All this shit about he turned down $14 million, $15 million to fight Beterbiev and the trilogy, it's not true. So it looks like both sides are willing. And I know me, I'm hoping that the discussion can move forward. That way we can get the trilogy with these guys. And it's good to see them having a rival and have a third fight. They elevated each other and they made history. So more to come. I know he was supposed to fight Caleb Smith, and who knows what Beterbiev is doing, but 175 is a bit interesting right now. Don't know what direction people are going, who's going to move up there, who's going to come down. We don't know what's going on there. But one thing we know for sure is if Beterbiev wants to fight and Bivol said he wants to fight, these two guys don't mess around. That means they are going to fight, and we'll get that trilogy. I got Bivol winning that trilogy. Errol Spence and Tszyu. Look, Errol Spence made it to Australia. Aussie, oi, oi, oi. Tszyu is there, but the matchup continues to split opinion. Those picking Spence often cite the experience, championship pedigree, southpaw skill. Those favoring Tszyu are pointing to the recent activity, pressure, youth, momentum, and the divided predictions suggest fans view the matchup as highly competitive. Now, this thing about Errol Spence wanting to fight at 160. Someone I read where they said Errol Spence wanted to fight at 160 because he was flying over there to Australia and there was a concern about retaining water weight from the flight and getting in country. So I don't know what the hell that means. I'll be honest with you. I've done some research on it. It doesn't make sense. But hey, that's what was thrown out there. But I will say the fight is very competitive. But man, I got that as a 50-50, man. But I am shocked to see how many people have Tszyu winning. I do think Errol Spence needs to knock him out. I do think it's going to be a very interesting fight. I don't think Spence is just going to get in there and just brush him. No, I think he's going to be competitive, man. I think Errol Spence is going to be in a war. And for Tszyu, y'all got to understand, this man is fighting in Australia. That last name of his, man, a blessing and a curse. He can't come in there. He's got to go out on his shield, so don't expect Spence to have it easy. I would not be surprised if either of them won, but if Tszyu won this fight, I would not be surprised. But Errol Spence has got to put it on him. He's got to put it on him. The southpaw skills, just put it on Tszyu. If not, I'm telling you, he'll probably lose that fight. And if it goes to a decision, I don't believe the Australians are going to. I want to believe the Australians will be fair, but I look at what they did to Manny Pacquiao and Jeff Horn. So, good luck. I can't wait to see this fight. If I am around, I will be live for it, but I don't know if I'm gonna be around. It just depends on it just depends. But leave your comments below who you think wins. Now, Rolly and Teofimo. I got Rolly winning that fight, man. I'm not the only one who feels that he's made noticeable improvements, that his punching power always gives him a chance, but Rolly is the truth, man. There's a reason why these cats don't want to fight him. They talk shit about him, but they don't want to fight him. The only one who stepped up is Teofimo Lopez. And some are saying, look, Rolly has improved. You're right, Hood, and he has power, but we favor Lopez. Athleticism, versatility, championship experience. They say the worst thing he can do is engage and exchange punches with Rolly. They're like, but if he can box from range, well, then be more tactical, well, that gives him a chance. So people are split on that fight. But for me, I got Rolly winning. Just like, I got Rolly winning and people are split on that fight. I'm split on Itauma and Hrgovic. Others got Moses Itauma winning. I just tell you what, I have noticed that, the criticism about Itauma's readiness has fueled his determination. He doesn't like these people seeing him as an underdog, first time in his career, really being seen as an underdog, And I think just him still being a young fighter, he's using the outside opinions as motivation. Now, if that's going to translate into future performances, I don't know. We'll see what happens in the ring. But I do think Filip Hrgovic has a problem for anybody, and Moses Itauma is going to have to be locked in and dialed in because that shit is not going to be an easy fight. Just like it wasn't for Harlem Eubank, who got clipped this weekend, losing to David Papa. Who would have thought that would have happened? But you got to question Eubank's path forward. Where does Harlem Eubank go from here? You know what I'm saying? I mean, his career is not necessarily over, but the climb toward elite competition has become more difficult. So his response in future fights will likely shape public opinion. You know what I'm saying? The reality is he got to get to the back of the line and start working again. All this shit about beating the elite fighters at 147 on his best day, well, you can feel what you want, but the truth is you can't do it. Okay? Now, that being said, just for fun, dream match if Anthony Joshua and Frank Bruno, if Bruno would have fought. You know, the UK fans out here making jokes and shit. But they love Frank Bruno and they love Anthony Joshua. But they joke that the first one to land on the chin wins. That had me cracking up because they recognize both men's punching power, but they also recognize that both men were chinny. And that had me laughing. Now, something I hear it's kind of entertaining. I don't know if it had you laughing. Is Claressa Shields, Alycia Baumgardner, and promotional questions. If you take a look at Alycia Baumgardner, she has strong momentum with certain segments of boxing fans, but then there are others where she does not. Okay? But for Claressa Shields, she's just struggling. Okay? She is just out here struggling. She got a big event on August 15th. And this whole fight card with this entertainment, this spectacle, I mean, you got so many opinions on it. And the difference here is, when it comes to these fighters, you're going to have supporters, you're going to have detractors, and you're going to have some haters. So Alycia expects to get some of that. But it's not like what the hell's going on with Claressa Shields. Claressa Shields, career-wise, seems to be struggling. With the fan support, seems to be struggling. Overall brand, reputation, image, everything is just struggling. Where Alycia seems to be up in a way. She's on a reality series. She's something on Netflix coming out. And there's more other ventures that she has going on. And I just think Alycia Baumgardner is up in a way. She just got to watch out with the attitude and mouth. That's what's going to hurt her. She got to remain professional and get away from people who aren't professional, who are coming out and speaking on her behalf and shit. Just get away from that, because long term, I think that's going to hurt her, and it's going to complicate what MVP and Jake Paul's trying to do for her. But now for Claressa Shields, she needs help. Her whole career is on life support. That shit it's all bad, man. But this whole thing about the entertainment piece of the fight card, it can broaden an audience. But I'm telling you, this right here is one of the worst moves ever made, because it's shifting the attention away from boxing. And I'm just telling you, I think Claressa Shields is the main event. But going forward, she may end up being a co-main to these baddies and the Zeus network. I'm just being honest with you. I think she's going to be moving into a co-main event position because of a future media promotional deal that could surface between Zeus and DAZN, or Win Records and DAZN. Like, you just watch. These guys are all about their dough, man. And of course, a deal like this would depend on agreements between promoters, broadcasters, event organizers. Now, I'm not saying there's been any discussions. This is just me having a conversation. We know Zeus Network, they have their own network. I'm not saying they won't work with someone else, but if DAZN decided, hey, we want to work some kind of deal with you and this baddies thing in your Zeus Network, and it's going to put some money in the pocket of this guy Lemmy, I'm sure he would look at it. If Papoose and Win Records could attach themselves to that somehow, I'm sure they would, and they leave Claressa there in the breeze. You know, just imagine now this event they're putting on. You got MVP doing that thing with their women, with ESPN, Sky Sports, with Netflix, everything. They have all kind of stuff going on over there. And it's only going to get bigger and better. Alycia Baumgardner can be up in a way. Amanda Serrano, all those girls over there. That one from Puerto Rico, Rosado, she's next. Caroline DeBar is another one. But that one from Caroline DeBar and that one from Puerto Rico, them women can fight. But you look at what's going on here with Claressa. Understand, this event happens on August 15th. And when you look at this is what, I was going to say this, but I don't know if I can say this. A lot of time when they talk about viewership, they can look and see when viewership peaks and have the most people watching an event. But because Zeus, the baddies portion is going to be aired on the Zeus network, Claressa Shields, the boxing portion is going to be aired on DAZN. So you're not going to be able to see, as far as viewership, where it peaks. That's what I was hoping to be able to talk about. But now that I think about it, I don't think they're going to be able to identify if viewership peaked when the baddies were fighting, and then it dipped when Claressa came on. But the bottom line is, going forward, if the crowd decides, we out of here after the baddies fight, and only maybe 25% leaves, 30% leaves, going forward, if they have another event like this, I can see where Claressa ends up becoming like the co-main, and the baddies become the main. And that creates problems, because Clarissa's not going to want to do that. You know what I'm saying? I can see that when they say, the demand is for this baddies and Zeus Network, not for Claressa. But she's done it to herself. She has done it to herself, so that's why she's under pressure. But anyway, sit back and see how it all plays out. Very interesting. That being said, man, Boots, that next move, going to be big. Spence and Tszyu, Bivol ain't going for the bullshit. He wants Beterbiev. Claressa under pressure. AB, stay focused. And Conor Ben and Ryan, I got Ryan clipping him. Anyway, man, y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.